Alright then, it's that time of the month where all the club managers get a bit of time off by not barking orders at players on the training pitch every day and go back and forth with the club's coaching and medical staff over the performance and fitness levels of players. However, that doesn't mean that it's easy to see your players leave for national duty. Many managers have a habit of sweating over the fitness of their players while representing their countries. This is why you must have heard many times how managers hint at national team managers to use their players wisely. At times, such statements cause friction, and other times, both managers come to a mutual understanding. What's up, Goalsiders? Glad to have you back once again. So, this video is going to be more about what's happening during the international break. We have the World Cup qualifiers to talk about, and also a quick discussion over who might win the 2020 European Championships. Yes, it is still called the 2020 European Championships even though we're in the year 2021. So, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell icon and let us guide you through everything that's happened in the game in the last couple of days. A complicated World Cup qualification process. Alright, so the qualification process for the 2022 World Cup is unlike anything we've ever seen. Legendary Liverpool manager Bill Shankly once quipped that football is a simple game complicated by people who should know better. The statement was made decades ago, and it still makes all the sense in the world today, especially if we look at the World Cup qualification phase for European countries. One of the most baffling decisions of the campaign is that a tiny Gulf state is also involved in the qualification campaign. Qatar will be hosting the World Cup, but is given a practice run in order to be ready for when the World Cup starts. So 55 European entrants have been divided into 10 groups, 5 groups of 5 teams and another 5 groups of 6. Group winners are guaranteed a place at the World Cup next year along with 3 more teams, and this is where it gets pretty complicated. The 3 extra places are determined by a process where 10 group runners-up plus the 2 best Nations League group winners will fight it out. So anyway, this is going to be one weird qualification process, and it could have been kept simple, but hey, those people who are fueling the game want to make it more appealing, so who are we to say anything about it, right? The European side of the qualification campaign has already begun, so let's do a quick recap of what happened on the first match day. Portugal and Serbia start off with wins. Portugal took on Azerbaijan in their first game of the qualifying campaign and struggled their way to a 1-0 win, thanks to an inspired performance in goal from Shahruddin Mohammadaliyev, who denied Cristiano Ronaldo on multiple occasions. In fact, the Minnows managed to give the reigning European champs a few scares as well. Serbia played host to the Republic of Ireland and won 3-2. The Irish hadn't scored a single goal in their last 7 games ahead of this game, so the performance can be considered a major improvement. However, Alan Brown and company will have to up their game in the upcoming encounters. Ukrainians hold world champions to a draw. Antoine Griezmann scored an amazing goal for the reigning world champs, and in doing so, he became joint 4th in the list of France's all-time scorers. However, Serhii Sidorchuk equalised for Ukraine and they held on. Les Bleus know that there is a lot of work needed to be done, and they need to find their form quickly in order to avoid making their qualification campaign a huge inconvenience. In the same group, Finland and Bosnia and Herzegovina played an entertaining 2-2 draw. The Finns were in for a tough time and had star striker Teemu Pukki to thank for after the Norwich striker scored twice in the second half. Lacklustre Wales tamed. Wales were always going to rely on Gareth Bale's talent to dream on, and the winger's pass to Harry Wilson gave them a shock lead over Belgium. However, they were never going to be bothered by conceding an early goal. Kevin De Bruyne, Torgan Hazard and Romelu Lukaku scored a goal each to ensure that Belgium kicked off their qualifying campaign to a good start. The 16-minute man. It took Tomáš Souček only 16 minutes to score his first hat-trick for the Czech Republic in a 6-1 mauling of Estonia. The West Ham man was in sublime form alongside Bayer Leverkusen forward Patrick Schick, who scored 1 goal and provided 2 assists. Mark our words, the Czech Republic could spring a few surprises this term. Turks down the Dutchman. Turkey registered what should be considered one of the first big surprises of the qualifying campaign, beating the Netherlands 4-2 at home. Star striker Burak Yilmaz was on fire for the Crescent Stars, scoring his first ever international hat-trick, which also included a glorious free kick from 20 yards. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who's been on fire for AC Milan, also chipped in with a goal. Norway dispatched Gibraltar 3-0, and the only blemish on the scoreline was an injury to star player Martin Ødegaard, who appeared to injure his right ankle in the first half and was taken off at half-time. However, the Norwegian camp has calmed down rumours that the youngster could be out for a long time, which will be a huge relief to Arsenal, who have come to rely on the influential playmaker quite a lot in recent weeks. Croatia played the final of the World Cup last year, but suffered a shock defeat to Slovenia, while Russia started their campaign with a comfortable 3-1 win over Malta. Euro 2020, the favourites and the dark horses. So after a wait of 1 year, we're almost there. The upcoming Euros are going to be quite a spectacle, with matches taking place across several major European cities. If only we weren't living in a pandemic-ridden world, it would have been such an amazing experience. But hey, this doesn't mean that the games are going to be boring. On the contrary, we're definitely going to see some really exciting matchups. There are a lot of teams that could go very far in the competition, and some that could even win it. So let's take a look at a few of the favourites. England. The Three Lions have not won any international tournament in over 6 decades, but they have an advantage that few teams have. Gareth Southgate's men are going to play all of their group games at Wembley, and if they qualify for the knockout phases, well, they'll play most of the games at home too. England have a great side as well, with the likes of Harry Kane, Mason Mount, Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish and Marcus Rashford expected to come good for the national side. But will that be enough for them to win the tournament? Only time will tell. Spain. Of course, La Roja are far from the team that conquered world football for over a decade. However, under Luis Enrique, a new generation is on the rise. But despite their talent, Euro 2020 will be too early for the Spaniards to go on and challenge more established and experienced sides in the competition. Belgium. Belgium have been considered a rising force in world football for over 8 years now. Under Roberto Martinez, the Belgians boast some of the most talented players on the planet, with more youngsters waiting in the wings. There is a possibility that Martinez would have to dream big without the presence of star player Eden Hazard, who's had a torrid time with injuries. The Real Madrid forward might not be fit enough for selection this time, but Belgium still have a lot of star power to rely upon. Kevin De Bruyne is on fire and in great shape, and Thorgan Hazard is slowly stepping out of his brother's shadow, while Romelu Lukaku has gained confidence in Italy and will be an immense presence. Wanna bet against them? Germany. The upcoming Euro 2020 campaign will be Joachim Löw's last for the German national team, and he would like nothing better than to ride out in the sunset. Löw has been at the helm since 2008 and has guided Die Mannschaft to a World Cup title back in 2014, and would be eager to see a relatively new-look German national team go far in the competition. With the likes of Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Serge Gnabry, Joshua Kimmich and others stepping up their game, it would be interesting to see how far the Germans will go in the competition. The national team has always made strong comebacks in big tournaments, so it wouldn't surprise us if they end up going all the way. The Netherlands. Alright, the Dutch lost 4-2 to Turkey in their opening game of the World Cup qualification campaign, but that doesn't mean that they're a bad side or anything. Under Frank de Boer, the Oranje are proving to be a very stable outfit. Boasting some truly talented players such as Matthijs de Ligt, Frenkie de Jong, Memphis Depay and others, the Netherlands will be eager to do well for the national side this time around. They haven't won anything of great significance for quite a while, so you can expect them to do really well this time around. France. Les Bleus have a really strong squad as it is, and being the reigning world champs does mean that Didier Deschamps' men will be heading into the tournament looking to win the tournament once again. Paul Pogba is doing all the right things at Manchester United, while Antoine Griezmann always comes good for the national side. Kylian Mbappe has been in great form ever since he moved to Paris Saint-Germain, and his star continues to rise. Now they have a young talent in the shape of Eduardo Camavinga, who at the age of 18 is already becoming a regular fixture in the national setup. The Stade Rennais man continues to develop at an astonishingly fast pace. Italy. Under Roberto Mancini, the Azzurri are going from strength to strength after a turbulent spell, where the team put in average displays and players openly declared their unhappiness at the national team's inability to put in performances in line with the team's history. Mancini has changed everything. Italy had a fantastic qualification campaign where they conceded only 4 goals in 10 games and they won all 10 games. While they do still look vulnerable in defence, the Italians are really great going forward and are bound to go deeper inside the tournament and maybe even win it. Portugal. Defending their European crown, the Portuguese have a wealth of talent to rely upon. 5 years ago, they were considered outsiders to win the tournament, but against all odds, managed to do just that. Today, the current Portugal team is completely different to the one that beat France in the final. The squad has a lot of depth, and they're no longer reliant on Cristiano Ronaldo to come with the goods. We don't usually take sides here at Goalside, but we do kind of get the feeling that Portugal might end up defending their crown this summer.